Welcome to this episode where I am talking about balance and business. Such a massive topic that lots of business owners want to kind of get to is that balance because there's so much to do, so much in business, so much to work on, so much kind of juggle that it can sometimes feel impossible with finding that fine line, finding that balance. But that doesn't have to be your reality. That doesn't have to be your story. And actually, every year I choose kind of a word that I'm going to focus on for the year ahead. And in 2022, balance was my thing. I set myself a goal. I wanted to work 4 days a week on my businesses, and I had two at the time. And I achieved it, but then really quickly went back on that and ended up working 5 out of 7 days. And I wasn't getting a lot of time with my family. I wasn't looking after my health and all those things that we want to kind of create. Because when you have a family, when you have hobbies that you want to explore and you want to take time out for holidays and you want to still make a success of your business, it can feel like a juggling act. And it definitely did for me. So in this episode, I want to talk to you about that and how you can navigate your way to that true balance. So it all started for me when I realised that after being in business for 9 years, actually I've been in business 9 years this year in 2023, but last year it will have been 8 years. And I looked back at my whole journey, and my whole journey I've fought and fought and fought to manage my time. Obviously, this is why I got so organised with my business and became the queen of business organisation, because I really quickly noticed that it was essential. It really was essential to have strategies, to be organised, to have systems in place to look after myself and protect my energy. It's so important. And you'll probably find within the first 6 episodes of this, you will see that there is some kind of theme of self-care, self-love, and like mindfulness and all of that stuff in these episodes. And that is because that becomes part of finding the balance. That becomes part of what we need to find our way within our business. And I look back and I saw this. I saw that there was no perfection, and perfection wasn't actually a thing. Like, you can aspire to be near perfect, nearly perfect, but not perfect, because that doesn't exist. And accepting that first and foremost was easier because then it took the pressure off a little bit. So first of all, I want you to take the pressure off yourself. If you're listening right now and you're thinking, I need to find this balance, take that pressure off yourself to start with. And then the second thing is, like, managing your time is so important. And I talk about this a lot. It's the one of the key things I always say. I'm the queen of business organisation and I help you save time, increase your productivity and profit. And the reason I start with saving time there is because if you can work smarter, not harder, and do things in ways that is going to save you time, then that is going to increase your productivity, which is then going to help you earn more money. But let's backtrack it before that. It's really important when it comes to finding balance for your business that you do look after yourself and you do prioritize you as a whole person, your mind, your body, all of it. And it's took me a really long time to realize that and see that. And actually, at this moment in time of recording this, it is a massive thing that I'm working on, because it's taken me 9 years to realize. It's taken me all that time to see that my own energy is going to impact my business, my health is going to impact my business. And so that is what I first and foremost have needed to be working on all of this time. And I haven't, hands up, hats off, I'm being honest, I haven't. So I would encourage you to unpick that and unpack and look at that kind of area of your life. If you are wanting to create balances, look at how you are looking after yourself, how you're making time for things you enjoy outside of business, outside of work, how you're protecting your mindset, how you're protecting your health, and looking after your body. So for me, it has been creating a schedule that doesn't overwhelm myself with work too much, which is challenging when you're creative and passionate like me and get loads of ideas. It's surrounding myself with people that motivate me to do that as well, to work on my mind and my body, which has proved very, very effective. And it's having a schedule in place where I do my morning routine And this is not for everybody. This is why I say I'm a coach and mentor that works on a personal level with you, because it's not the same for everybody. For me, it's a morning routine, but for you, it might be you do that stuff in the middle of the day or in the evening, because we are all different. And it's about looking at your own human experience and your energy and the way you learn, work, and think, and applying that to your business so that you can find that balance. My perfect balance, my dream ideal, balance schedule would be getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning and working until midday, and that's it. I can chill out for the rest of the day and spend time with my family. That would be my dream. But I'm a mum, so from 7 a.m. on a morning until 9 a.m., I need to use those 2 hours to feed my children, clothe my children, get myself dressed, and get them to school. And that is going to be the case for probably another 14 years. My daughter's 14, so, well, you don't take them to school when they're 18, but, well, it depends how far they are. If you drive them to college, but we don't drive at the minute, at this moment in time, but that situation's never here nor there, like, that's in the future. But ideally, 14 years, I'm going to be in this cycle, and there's not much I can do about that. I mean, I could ask my husband to do that alone, but then there's other challenges in that, such as his disability. So I physically can't change that one thing, but it's about looking at what you can control. And what I can control is what I do before 7 o'clock and what I do after 9 o'clock. And that is where balance has come in for me, is protecting my energy, my mindset in the morning with my mindset and morning routine, and setting up my work day to work on things in my business that I know needs my attention, which obviously is clients, but I also need to do the admin side, the marketing side, the planning, the content. This stuff I actually enjoy, so I look at a way I can do it in a way that I enjoy, but fit it all in without overwhelming myself and overworking myself, which means giving myself breaks. I have put in my schedule breaks that means that I can step back, have some lunch, go walk the dogs, because that is good for them and for my body, because I'm moving. Because one of the biggest things about working from home, being self-employed, is that I am in this position quite a lot, this vertical position, L-shaped position, if you will. Like, my bum's on a seat and I'm not moving very much. And we need to get those muscles moving, blood pumping. It's so good for our heart, and it's good for your mind as well. That hormone that releases that is it dopamine? I can't even remember, but it's all about that, and that all plays a part into this overall idea of balance. And so I've set my business up in a way now that works alongside that. So ask yourself, how can you create that for yourself? How can you create a schedule that allows balance? How can you create the things that you want to actually do? So my time has been spent working when I don't want to be working. And it's not that I don't love my job, because I do, and I love working with clients, but my energy is not there at 8 o'clock on a night. It's not. And for far too long, people pleasing has got in the way of this balance for me. And you might find that you're practicing the same kind of thing in your business. Your clients want you at this time, so you say yes and you people please, because we kind of prioritize the money over the management that feels good to you. But actually, if you just prioritize you first, it's going to make such a bigger impact on your clients. Like for me, I'd rather not work in the evening, make it more challenging for them, but then give them a better call when I'm in better energy, because it's on a daytime. And I want to use evenings to me as a parent and more about relaxing. You leave the day behind, stop working. The kids have gone to bed, everybody's fed, everybody's well, and you use that time for yourself. And I recently just come across the Mel Robbins 3-2-1, and I love that. It's about 3 hours before bed, you don't eat. 2 hours before bed, you stop working, and 1 hour before bed, you don't go on a screen. And I love it, because it's going to feel good. And I've not actually stuck to that just yet, but it is something I'm trying to implement for myself and for my kids, because that brings balance. It brings balance so much. And in that time, that hour before bed, that I'm not on a screen, I can spend it doing other things I love, the hobbies that are creative that I love doing. A lot of it at the moment in time, because I travel through my hobbies. At the moment, I'm loving doodling. I'm loving journaling and learning. So I do that in that time, and reading. I really want to read more. So if I take that hour and dedicate it to reading, something I want to do more of, that I'm not prioritizing, then it's going to make a difference. And then that 2 hours before bed, I'm not working. It's allowing my mind the space to step back from my job so that I can give myself that peace and that rest on a night that we need to look after ourselves and to work on our energy to build us up for the next day ahead. And of course, the stop eating 3 hours before makes a massive impact, and it's more scientifically proven that it helps with digestion. But it's really, really good for you as well in many other ways. And I want to eat better in a way that fuels and serves my body. And all of this comes part and parcel with creating the balance. So that is how I have looked at it. So I always, of course, have a strategy behind everything that I do and organize myself because that's who I am. That's what I do. So how can you come at it from that angle? What can you put in place? What can you do to create that balance? And what does balance actually look like? Because balance is not the same for everybody. I came across a training the other day which was about your true north and what your idea of having it all is and what that looks like. And this has played a massive part in how I tackle finding balance within my business, because I've believed for a long time that actually, no, I can't have it all. I'm either a good mum or a good business owner, good wife or a good business owner, and I can't be both. And you can't, and be a good friend. You can be both because you can prioritize your time and you can spread yourself across all these different places while protecting your mindset, your body, and your energy. And that is something I've really had to work on. So it's first understanding what that balance looks like before you put anything in place. So for me, balance has changed over time. For me right now, though, that looks like me wanting to put more time into my work on my body and my mind, because right now I'm turning 30 at the time of recording this call. I'm a few weeks away from turning 30, and I've got high blood pressure. My doctor's been trying to put me on tablets because it's not coming down. I don't exercise regularly other than doing Zumba on Mondays, and it's not healthy. And I've actually had experience of seeing family going through some tests and a bit of challenges with health, and that would be me in 20 years if I keep going the way I'm going. So I wanted to make changes for myself, but for my family as well, around that, and have that impact on me feeling better whilst I'm running my business and running my life and running the show, I guess. And so I've had to prioritize that, and that's what balance looks like for me. It's prioritizing my body and my mind. But then obviously I want to make money, I want to be wealthy, but it needs to become health before wealth, which is why I prioritize my body and my mind and do those things first thing on the morning and also first before the business work, because the health is going to leave you in better stance to do the wealth stuff, the money making, the business. So obviously I work on when I'm going to work on my business as well. But I also look at, when it comes to balance and seeing this bigger picture and what I truly want, I want to spend time on creative projects that I love to do, and times what I'm mindful, things like writing, because I love it, reading, drawing, doodling, learning to paint, crochet when it's winter months, because I love doing crochet in winter months when it gets cold. Doing those things. And it's not always just about hobbies, but it's things in your business that you want to implement as well, and how you can kind of bring that in but still have that balance. Like, one of the things for this was, for me, was having a YouTube channel that was active with regular videos and having a podcast, and a successful one at that. I mean, I've tried this before. I've tried both those things and it just didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen was because I didn't have that balance. I didn't have that clarity. I didn't see the bigger picture and what that looked like. So I wasn't able to then actually action anything to create that success. Whereas the difference this time, you're listening to me, either you might be listening on my podcast, you might be listening on my YouTube channel, both of them I'm showing up with this talk, and I'm actually doing it now because I just saw that clear vision of what I wanted in a way that worked for me, because it was really important that before I did these videos and podcasts, that I was able to do it in a way that worked for me, which is why I actually have it on YouTube and the podcast. So it goes out to two audiences, but and kills two birds with one stone in less time, which is working smarter, but also so that I could fit it in a way that works for me. I wanted to do a podcast episode every week, but how could I manage that as well as doing a YouTube video every week? So I combined them and I created balance and ease in that way. But and it is about batching, content and creation and tasks that are similar to save you time and create that balance, but also looking at how you can come and do it in a way that works for you. So for me, I wanted to do interviews, but I wanted to do single podcasts. I wanted to have sponsors in future. I wanted to feature my clients' testimonials. I wanted to have comments in there. I wanted to share so many subjects, and I really wanted this mixed bag. And I'm thinking, how can I create this? So I had to get clear on that bigger picture and what it looks like how often I'm showing up in these places, and how actually I was going to execute this plan before I'd even created it. So it was like starting from the back, from the end result, and working backwards to make it happen was what I had to do. So that's what I did. And I'm here today recording this to go out on my podcast and YouTube channel because I created that balance and I started with that plan. So I do think planning has a lot to play in the balance that you create with your business as well. That you need to think clearly about what that bigger picture is, what that looks like, and create a plan for that to work with you and not against you. Because I think a lot of the time in business and in life, we do things and it works against what's in our heart. It works against what our mind is saying and our body wants. It works against us. And when you're fighting against yourself, you're just staying in that hamster wheel and you're not breaking free and being able to step into that true freedom of having balance and having it all. So look back at, what does having it all look like for you? What exactly do you want in your life in terms of, for me, I looked at my mindset routine, how I'm going to look after my body and exercise and fuel myself with good food, because this has actually been a massive thing to work on for me, which I guess will have to be a future episode. And so I've had to work on that and implement things that have they're easy, but not easy, because we give ourselves excuses why we can't do it, which then self-sabotages the balance that we're trying to create. And it takes a lot of work, it really does. But yeah, it's like, the mind, the body, the exercise, the fueling yourself with good food, collaborating and working with people you want to work with, doing the jobs that you want to do, the aspects of your business that you want to do, making sure you've got that downtime that you want, making sure you've got the family time, the time with your children, the time with your husband that you want. And I've really gone into specific details with what that looks like for me, because it's important to me. Like, it's important to me that I get to spend more time with my husband, because we haven't had that, because we've had 3 children and then we took on 2 dogs, and with his disability as well, it's been impacted. So it was important to me that that was part of it that I got clear on. And the result of that is that my plan ended with my daughter starting school in September, and that is when I go back to the 4-day working week. So on Wednesdays, I don't typically work, and I use those days where me and my husband can go out for dinner, go out for breakfast, go shopping together, or whatever it is, it looks like we need to do, and spend that time together. Just us, not mum and dad, us, husband and wife, who we were before the children, because it's okay to want and need that as part of your balanced lifestyle. And it's the same thing for me, going off and doing things that I want to do that feed my soul. So I actually got an email today about a retreat that I want to go to. It's not even, it is a lot of people that are in business go there, but it's not business focused. It's all about finding the best version of you. So there were a mixed bag of people at the one I've just been to. There were business owners, people who were employed, real mix, but it was amazing. So I want to be at the next one. So I've just decided today that I'm going to invest in that. So balance is also about me deciding and being okay with committing to those kind of things that are what I want to do, that aligns with me, and taking myself off and doing those things. And it's the same that I'd expect my husband to do as well, take himself off and do those things that are good for him, as anyone should do in their life when they're thinking about what that bigger picture looks like, where you want to spend your time and your energy. and your money, I guess, and what you want your overall picture to look like. I know that I want 3 holidays a year. That is one of my goals. I've actually kind of had that this year because I went to Benidorm with the women in my family to celebrate my 30th and my mum's 50th. I went on a UK break with my family to Pontins that we really enjoyed. I could say some other things on that, but I'll leave it there. I've been away for the weekend at this retreat that I've just got back from. I've got another weekend away booked for my sister-in-law's hen party. So ideally, I've kind of had 4 breaks away, but going forward, I do definitely want to get away 3 times a year out of Leeds, where I live. And I love travel, but I don't love traveling all the time, which is why my goal is 3, because it's probably as much as I can manage. Because it does make me anxious and it does drain my energy. Leaving the house all drains my energy on the best of days. But it's knowing and understanding that and aligning with that in the goals and this vision that you create for your business and your life to create that connection of balance, abundance, and success, I guess. So think about how that looks like for you. So my biggest takeaway from this episode would be to go away and think about what balance and business looks like for you in your life. Really think about that vision and get clear with what a balanced life looks like for you, what that's going to include in terms of your health, things that make you happy, including hobbies that you do, the people that you're spending your time with, the amount of work that you commit to in your business, all of those things. That's the thing that I want you to take away from this episode and go and work on. And if you want to hear more from me, do not forget where you can come and find me. Come and join me over on all platforms at Queen of Business Organisation, and join my Facebook community, the Business Growth Club, for more tips, lives, questions and discussions as well. All the best from your host, Danny Louise Smith, the Queen of Business Organisation. Bye for now. I will see you in the next